All right, y'all. Hang on one second. We wait a minute while I try to get everything rolling here. The shop's kind of a mess right now. Crap fell. We got one person in here. What's up? What's up? What's up? I don't know if you can hear me okay. My screen. What's up, Sharon? How are you doing? We are gonna try to do this. Hello, I can't see everybody's names yet. Hold on. What's up, NB? What's up, Jared? Let me get on to this live here so I can see what y'all are seeing. Yeah, the area behind me is kind of chaotic, ain't it? Sorry about that, but it is what it is. It is my shop area, so let me address this. We got a bunch of people coming in quick. We got 35 people in here. We got Joy's here. Joy wasn't there last night to see what happened. So we got 35 people in here. What's up, Jason, Chantel, Judy, Gary, Joy, Sharon, Ronnie, Final 30. What's up? How's everybody doing? It is Friday at like 1 p.m. I've been trying to get going on this live for like an hour, and I need a time machine because last night was freaking, I still don't know what exactly happened. So for those of you all who weren't on the live stream, and I went back and I watched it, and you can hear the rushing sound of leaves if you listen closely. What's up, Jeff? So I had, the way it was set up is I was facing the camera like this. I had my back, my e-bike shining into the woods behind me, and I had my headlamp and my O-lights shining on me so you all could see me. It's kind of hard when I do that to see what is directly behind the camera. And during the live, as we were talking and stuff, I was seeing some kind of orbs and stuff, you know, showing up in the woods. Could have been a variety of things. I was hearing movement. You know, could have been a raccoon, could have been a possum, could have been something like that. But then after, I mean, I think we were on live for like about an hour. When I'm facing the camera, behind the camera, I hear this like rush of leaves, like somebody's charging me, and I see this black figure coming like really fast, like at me. And I I bet it was wild looking from your all's perspective, because I pulled my pistol out immediately and was screaming back, because I was looking directly at this like black silhouette that was like right in front of me. And I reached down and I grabbed my light, and I saw something else. It might have been whatever it was. I saw something moving kind of away from me. So I was able to get the area kind of secured, and was able to get my stuff like packed up, because still when I'm trying to visualize this in my head, like I don't really remember seeing a face. it could have been somebody wearing a mask, which is a possibility. Probably not a realistic possibility. But then after I started leaving, obviously I was like shaken, and I still had a good half a mile to a mile to get back to the road, so then I could ride the road back to my car. So as I'm going through the woods, I see these eyes, and it was like they were on the trail. They were high up, and they were like staring at me, and they were like, I don't want to say that they were red, because it was a very unique kind of color. It was this like almost amber type red looking, I don't know. So I kind of dismissed that as just kind of being paranoid about what just happened, like what I just experienced, because like that was scary as hell. Like, you know, I've had some weird experiences doing this kind of research. I've never really been charged to that extent by something. Let's see here. Making sure I'm not covering anything crazy. So, like, I've had kind of like a charge from a Bigfoot before. Like, those kind of seem distant. It's never like right up in front of you. Like, when I was I was thinking about it, and I was kind of proud of myself because of my draw. Like, I was able to get that pistol out and like had it up ready to go like really quick. I mean, my holster came off, but I was able to get it off and get it out, which I need to go to the range and work on my draw, because even though it was good, that could have been bad. So then, you know, I get home and I do my typical kind of, I don't want to call it a ritual, but like I do these like steps to try to prevent anything from following me home and staying and making it inside of my home. What I generally do is I will come around to the back of the house. I enter the house through the basement, and I take my boots and stuff off outside. And I always say, you know, you do not have permission to enter this house. You know, you are not allowed to intimidate me or my family on this property. I forbid you from coming inside. So I always do this, and this has typically, well, I started doing it as a result of going on an investigation, coming home and getting burned in my own bed. If you've been following the channel, you'll probably know that story. So I went to bed not really thinking that anything had necessarily followed me. I'm laying in bed, and I can hear my son kind of like rustling around. And then I realize that my phone is vibrating, like somebody is trying to figure out like the volume setting on my phone. Justin said that I don't know if he saw somebody. I know he said that he heard footsteps like rushing down the hallway. Because when he had gotten up this morning to get ready to go to school, he was like, you know, what were you watching last night? Because the phone went on full blast, like as loud as it could be, to a scene in Dexter that I was not even watching. I didn't have Dexter up on my Netflix. Like I watched Dexter, and I watched Dexter on Netflix. But I that was a while ago. You know, it wasn't something that I've done here recently. And it was at the scene where Dexter is in jail and he's talking to his dad and he's like screaming like, I have to be the one to kill him. And this was loud as hell. And you can imagine like somebody playing that in the middle of the night in a dead quiet house. Like this was like at 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm not a big subscriber to the 3 a.m. stuff, but this is what happened. And it was really strange because of Justin I didn't talk to Justin last night after I got home from the investigation. He, to my knowledge, was not watching the live stream. He usually comments or says something when I'm on a live stream. So I don't think that he was watching the live stream, and I don't think that he knew that anything happened. So this is kind of another one of those experiences that when, you know, you don't really want to call it a coincidence because it was something that was happened not only screen but then come home. And then you know, all day this morning the house has had just this weird kind of feel to it, like almost like you're being watched or something. Like it's strange, y'all. So, and it all kind of which is weird. All of this is weird because this initially started as a dogman sighting. You know, it wasn't a shadow person sighting. It wasn't a UAP sighting. Like this was this gentleman, along with his dog, had an experience seeing another creature attack, you know, a coyote. And then I go out there and now that I'm talking about it, it's kind of making me think like a shape-shifting type thing. And typically what I have found while doing these paranormal investigations, a lot of demonic activity can surround these things, and the demonic side of it will follow you home. So I think I might have gotten myself into something and, you know, it was wild. So I'm gonna go back through here. I know there's tons of comments on here, so let me go back through. Let's see here. Libby, I got in the last 5 minutes last night. You scared me to death. I didn't know what was happening. Glad you're okay. Yeah. Sharon, you had eye shine behind your right shoulder last night. Somebody else said that kind of earlier in the stream, before any of this happened. Somebody had mentioned it, and I just kind of dismissed it, you know, because a lot of the times some of the eye shine can be explained by me moving like lights around, that it can kind of reflect maybe off of a water bottle, and it would create this kind of weird optical illusion behind me that could look like eye shine. So a lot of times I dismiss that, and from now on I'm gonna be taking those a lot more seriously because holy shit. Let's see here. Emery, I just want to say I appreciate what you do. I wish I had more time to do what you do, so I live through your videos. Law. Yeah, you know, it's very time consuming doing this and living a life. You know, it takes a lot of time because I think that's what a lot of people don't think about when they want to get into cryptid research, because it's not only just packing up and going out on an adventure. It is researching, you know, sightings, researching encounters that have happened. Then you have to prepare yourself, not only physically, but mentally as well, to be able to go on these adventures, and then getting out there and getting, you know, into it. Like it takes a lot. It's it can be pretty time consuming, because even if you go to the closest place, like there's near where I live, there is an old Civil War trail, where they did a lot of mining for the marble that's actually in the Library of Congress, just FYI. Even me getting packed up to go out there, takes at least an hour, and it's just like kind of like right up the road from me. So it's time consuming. So I appreciate the fact that you all are recognizing that, because, and I want to encourage people to do this, to go out and really go out on these adventures. You don't necessarily have to go out, you don't have to break out all of the equipment. You don't necessarily need a thermal camera. You don't need a tri-field meter. If you're wanting to do this, you can have a ton of fun and get out and get to experience the wilderness just by, simply going out with your phone, and going out on a hike. It doesn't have to be strenuous. I try to tell, when people ask me how far out into the wilderness I tell them to go, I generally say you want to do like a max of like 2 miles. Like if you are getting into this, when people initially hear that number, they're like, oh, I can do 2 miles, that's no problem, that's easy. Well, you have elevation changes, and it's not just 2 miles, it's 4 miles, because you have to get 2 miles out and 2 miles back. During that time, assuming you experience something paranormal, that 2 miles back is just hair-raising the whole time. Like, the whole time. So, let's go back through here. Susie says, Susie Q74 says, play with the dead, and they're gonna play too, which may be no fun at all. That's very true. If you've been following my channel for a while, you've probably noticed that I have, for the most part, stepped away from the spiritual side of these investigations. YouTube was really kind of riddled with a lot of investigators doing some shady things, which, it is what it is. It wasn't the research, it wasn't the content that I wanted to create, because I have had these paranormal experiences, and I want to get answers for what happened, and I want to be able to share what happened. So, in doing so, the last real ghost hunt that I went on was up in Harriman at the old Harriman Hospital, and I think I put that on the member side, I think, the initial walkthrough. But during that walkthrough, I was up on the psych floor, and I look down the hallway, and I see this hunched over kind of like black mass staring at me. It wasn't really staring at me, I guess you could say. It was like facing me, because it didn't necessarily have a face, but it was this figure that, when I was staring at it, like, I didn't want to take my eyes off of it, because I didn't want to it disappear, so I was staring at this thing. And as I was staring at this thing, I was just getting rushed with all of these strange emotions. And, things like that really kind of can cause you as an investigator to be disturbed, because it's a very disturbing experience. It's not necessarily scary, but it can be, I classify it as a disturbing experience rather than it being a scary experience. Um, so Sharon asks, Brian, what do you think you saw last night? A man, a Bigfoot, or a feral person? Um, to be honest with you, Sharon, like if I wouldn't have had the experience inside of my house, I would have probably attributed it to a Bigfoot encounter. Um, because Bigfoot do charge, and a lot of times, when people experience the charging, it's a little bit more at a distance, and it's often like in the shadows, so you can't really get a good like a close-up view of it, but you hear the kind of rushing, you can feel the wind moving even. A feral person, so with my feral people theories, I don't think that I was in an area where the feral people are. I have taken my feral people research very seriously, and I have really gone, I feel like, above and beyond to establish what is happening with the feral people. And I think that the feral people are an extremely small like sect or pact of feral people living in the Smoky Mountains. And I think that the environment there's very key aspects to this. One being the tunnel systems and the cave systems in the Smoky Mountain area and in that side of North Carolina. There are massive cave systems that run through there. And also, I believe that there are tunnel systems made by them. So I think that they are in a very specific area. So I don't think it was a feral person. Now, all of this is not necessarily like clean cut. I know a lot of people out there like to try to say all of this is very clean cut, and what we're experiencing is either, a feral person, a Bigfoot, a dogman, or a mothman, or a ghost. It's kind of like a clean cut experience. In my opinion, I think that it can be something else. I think that is totally plausible. That there could be some sort of entity that we don't necessarily understand yet. I haven't had an opportunity to really talk in depth about when I would try to summon the UAPs. That was a wild experience. But I think that there are some sort of both good and evil interdimensionary beings that appear in our existence. So it's kind of hard for me to put a number on it. So here, Keith says, if you want to work on your draw, you can do it at home with a safe weapon, all muscle memory. You don't have to fire your weapon. After you get it down, then go to the range. Excellent point, Keith. Thank you for bringing that up. And that is one thing that on this channel, I want to be not necessarily open-minded about it, but there are people out there that I know that watch my content that have more experience with weaponry than I do. I consider myself to be very good, but I know that I'm not the best out there, and I know that I need work. And I want this channel to be a community where we can kind of help each other. Like, that is such an obvious point that Keith just made. Like, I don't have to go to the range to work on my draw. my thinking this whole time was I have to go to the range and work on my draw. Like, I don't have to do that, you know? So um, that's cool. That's one thing that I really love about this channel, and I love about you all. Y'all are awesome. Um, let's see here. Nancy, thanks for coming on today. My brother lives in Eastern Tennessee as well. Love your work. Where's your brother live? What part of Eastern Tennessee? Because Eastern Tennessee is changing like rapidly. It's getting wild. Thank you, Sharon. Let's see here. Timber Ghost, saving 0.25 to a half a second, but keeping one in the pipe could be the difference between life and death. Great job, not freezing up or panicking. It's a very good point. So when I am typically around town carrying, I do not keep one in the pipe. I feel like I'm very proficient with my weapons, and I feel like that I could draw and rack my firearm in time to get off a round if I was in a situation where I would be like out in public. Plus that extra, half a second can give you the opportunity to think about the situation that you're in. Maybe there's somebody behind the individual, behind your target, and that racking could help. When I am on the trail, I typically keep one in the pipe. There's people will kind of argue on both sides to that, because being off of stable ground, there's more likelihood of a negligent discharge happening, but I'm pretty comfortable with how my holster fits, and I'm actually looking into getting a leg holster for my trail adventures. So let's see here. Okay, I saw Nancy. Nancy says he lives in Greenback. There's a lot of activity that happens in Greenback. A lot. Like, a whole lot. There is an area that it's actually one of Survivor Man was there. One of the areas that Scott Carpenter was able to get what looks to be a Bigfoot on game cam eating the game cam. And then he also, I think there was another investigator, was able to obtain Sasquatch DNA that was later added on to Scott Carpenter's DNA research project with Dr. What's her name? I'm drawing a blank. Can't remember her name. But anyway, let's see here. So yeah, tell him if he's interested in Bigfoot. There's a lot of areas in Greenback that they have the public land areas that are managed by like TVA, that he could go out, he could investigate and, check it out. I know horseback riding in Greenback and horses in general are a big thing. So, yes, you're right. Dr. Ketchum, absolutely right. Good call. Let's see here. Variant C, heard crazy things went down. Hope you're doing all right. I'm doing good. When things like that happen, like I said, and I've said before on this channel, it's not necessarily a scary experience. It's a disturbing experience because, we have lived like our whole lives being taught, that basically there's only humans and we only, and we know of all the different wildlife that could be out there. Um, so um, anyway, lost my train of thought. So when I go out into these investigations, you know, getting exposed to like a different reality essentially is what's happening. It can be really hard to wrap your head around. Um, it's I don't know how to explain it. I guess really the first time that I experienced it like on a major level happened in the Baker Peters mansion when um, I was in the kitchen and this like white cloud thing like touched me, and it was like it was such a wild experience that, you know, really kind of opened my mind to accepting the fact that I don't know everything. You know what I mean? So and also with this, and I'm going to find a way to make this happen somehow, but I want to be able to document the cellophane distortion that happens. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but that is a major thing that a lot of investigators they look over, but it is something that happens alongside these Bigfoot, Dogman, these paranormal encounters. So I think that that could really be helpful in explaining what's really happening. Me and my friend Willis, we were talking about how we were trying to figure out a way to kind of experiment with different types of light in order to try to trigger some sort of response. Because, I mean, I think everybody can agree that Bigfoot has some sort of cloaking ability, some sort of camouflage ability. And, you know, I don't think it's necessarily unique to Bigfoot. I think it could be, you know, something that is intertwined throughout several different species. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Um, hold on one second. Uh, who was that? Was it Jason? Jason, thank you so much for the PayPal. Man, I really appreciate it. It's going to be a big help coming up this weekend and next week. I'm going to be getting back on the road more stably. I've got my eye on this other camera that I'm trying to get, and I'm really excited about it. It should help with some of the stuff that I'm talking about. It has this new type of sensor that it's really cool, but it's an expensive camera. But it will allow me to. It's like the Insta360, but it's like the newer version of it. So the light and the contrast is different. So it's going to allow me to really kind of hone in on certain areas. Somebody's outside my house. Hold on. Okay, and that's the shit that I'm that's happening. Um, Not sure if you all heard that metallic. My hair looking crazy. Um, hey, Angel. Um, wasn't sure if you all heard that metallic banging that just happened. That was a crowbar. I was working on my truck. I had a crowbar sitting on my toolbox on my truck. It just hit the ground, and there's nobody out there. Like, and that crowbar has been sitting there like all day. What do you call a Chinese ghost with a camera? Film me. That's pretty good. Hank, I watched the whole live stream last night. I seen a Chinese. I asked, "What's your name?" The ghost replied, "Something wrong." That's good. Chainsaw's here. What's up, brother? It's been a while. Sharon back? I don't know. Okay, so Judy, I've witnessed the cloaking with my own eyes. It's for real. So Judy, when you experienced that, like, what did you see? I mean, was it like that cellophane kind of that I described, or was it kind of something else? Because I've had a couple of different experiences. The intensity of it really kind of varies. There's an area up in it's outside of Norris, Chuck Swan, that I'm planning on going back to, coming up either this weekend or next week, that I'm going to be doing some investigating on, because a while back I had gotten it was a new subscriber to the channel. He had not gone through and seen my older video. The last time I was there with John and Josh, and I was sleeping. I was laying in my truck, and it was in the middle of the night. Like, fire, I think, had already gone out and everything, and this huge winged creature. I've got a headache bar on the back of my truck. It's kind of something, if you don't know what it is, it's like this series of like metal panels that kind of shade the back window, so when you're loading like hay and debris and stuff into the car, into the bed of the truck, you don't break the back window. So in the middle of the night, it was probably early in the morning, really, something huge landed on my truck, landed on that headache bar. The whole truck shook, and it sounded like somebody just like taking a bucket of water and just dumped it on my truck. So another individual had reached out to me that just found the channel and was talking about how they were up hunting, and he saw this big winged creature sitting in like perched in one of the trees. So I want to go up there because I think some of the things that had happened while I was investigating in Chuck Swan, that's where I experienced a lot of the cellophane type stuff. So I'm going to be going back up there, and we're going to be doing some investigating, which is going to be awesome. I'm really excited. So I remember being very hesitant to go into the area after that, and I was very uncomfortable. Variant was out shooting his pellet gun. I heard an old man yelling at him. Um, I hear those stories a lot. A lot of people will experience things like that that they can't explain, they can't wrap their heads around. It's, you know, one of those cases that, and I'm really interested in the way sound reacts as well, because a lot of the times in the areas that I go to, like I will be, you know, completely like away from any road or any city or anything like that, and you know, you will hear like a motorcycle go by, you'll hear like a, you know, car go by, or you'll hear people talking, and the way that the sound carries throughout the mountains is just, it's wild. um, so I can totally understand, you know, after shooting your pellet gun, you're hearing somebody that's nobody around, and then, you know, it'd freak me out too. Um, Brandon, what's up, brother? Thanks for coming. Um, let's see here. Sam, you missed the beginning. Um, Austin, thank you so much for the love and the support. I really appreciate it, y'all. It's last year I got pretty discouraged, you know, mainly because of, I don't know, I had a lot of things going on, you know, and I really wanted to make my content a lot more enjoyable, and I wanted to be able to get it out fast enough, you know, and I'm one person, so um, presenting my content the way that I want to present it, you know, it takes a lot of time, and I had really high hopes, you know, in getting some help, but it just didn't work out at all, like at all. And it just caused a big headache for me, you know, and I'm really excited now, and I'm really looking forward to the new adventures that I've got going on. And you know, I've got a lot more confidence in myself now, in my ability to research and produce, you know, really good quality content. So yeah, absolutely, Variant. Yeah, I'm gonna be also. I've got several episodes of the paranormal journals that I'm working on. I have them completed, so I'm gonna be releasing those coming up here soon. And I would love to have more personal stories from you all, so I can share, you know, your all's experiences and stuff like that. I think that would be cool. I think it's great for the community. But yeah. No problem. What's up, Ruptured Duck? Yeah, Austin, absolutely. It's, you know, that's one thing that I learned in doing this is that it kind of, and me as a person, I have a problem with giving people multiple chances. Like, you know, it's like if somebody screws me over, like it's I'm like, oh, that's okay, you know, we'll get it next time, we'll figure it out. And I allow people to take advantage of me, and you know, it was a bad situation. I'm out of it. I officially got the last pieces of paperwork from them on the 27th, so yesterday. So the relationship is 100% severed, and I'm excited about it because I was worried that it was going to turn into one of those situations that, you know, you see a lot of creators get stuck in, where they can't get out of, you know, can't get out of the situation. Well, I'm glad your grandma likes me. That's cool. Angel, you need to collab with Dee's Dark Adventures. I spoke to Dee. She's out in Ohio, which is a pretty good distance from me. We had talked about doing something. I forgot to email her back, so that's kind of my fault, I guess you could say. But it can be difficult to a lot of times link up with other creators, you know, in this space for a variety of reasons. I've had, you know, the opportunity to work with some bigger creators that, like, when I talked about my research and all the stuff that I'd figured out, they had then basically taken all of my work and just did their own shit version of it. So that happens a lot too. So it can be a little bit difficult, and you never really know how somebody is going to act in the woods. Like, it's an experience. Oh, another Cashapp. Who was that? Is it Sandra? Thank you so much for the Cashapp. That's it. Like, you all, like, seriously, like, it is a huge help. Last year was rough. It was rough, and thank God I'm on the upswing, and we're getting stuff put back together, and have the ability to really get going on some adventures. And, you know, spring's right around the corner. So I think actually March 17th, I'm going to be going, I don't want to put out where I'm going yet, but I'm going to be in one of the national parks. I'm taking the camper, all that good stuff. So yeah, absolutely. Sharon's always on point with the moderation. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of come on for a little bit and kind of explain what was going on last night. It was freaking wild. Brian, when will you go and investigate that area last night again? That's a good question. I kind of want to go tonight. As crazy as that sounds, but like, what happened, I don't know. It can be kind of intimidating to go back to a location like that when something like that happens. So I don't know. I might go tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe this weekend. I got some ideas that I'm wanting to do. I got to get in some side jobs though. And I've got to get the rest of these videos out. I really want to get this other Summer Wells video out that I did, because it really kind of presents things at a little bit different perspective than a lot of people have looked at. I think it does, because, you know, I feel like a lot of people overlooked what that neighbor was saying. So, Brian, may I ask what happened in short context? Talking about with Summer? If you're talking about with Summer, so I found evidence of, well, one, I found bones that I feel like were human, and assuming that they weren't human, it is indicative of a large predatory animal in that area. So, you know. Oh, okay. About last night. So last night we were, I had gotten a lead on somebody who had seen what they believed to be possibly a dog man chasing this other animal, a coyote, and found out where it was. I went out there. We were on live for about an hour or so, and not only me, but other people were seeing like these either eye shine or like orbs and lights. And when we we just kind of kept going, we just kind of kept talking, and then all of a sudden this like black figure behind the camera comes like rushing at me, to the point where like I drew my pistol, like I was screaming back, 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 like because I thought it was, I didn't know what it was. That thing, and then I experienced it again later on, leaving the trail. Then when I came home, I was asleep, and then my son claimed to hear like hard footsteps running down the hallway, and then at like around 3 a.m. like it sounded like my phone was vibrating from somebody like playing the volume, and then this episode of Dexter popped up that was Dexter. He was in jail with his dad, talking to his dad, and was saying, I have to be the one to kill him. And I hadn't been watching Dexter. Like, it was weird, the way everything happened. So yeah, I'll probably be going back to that area. You know, I would imagine that there's a lot of, gosh, I gotta trim my mustache. I got these little hairs as I'm talking are tickling my nose. I would imagine that the area has a lot of Native American influence on it. You know, that's one big thing with East Tennessee. The Native Americans were extremely active in this area. So I believe a lot of that is a part of, you know, East Tennessee. And we get to kind of experience those things. And it kind of makes me think about this other case that happened. There was a guy that had reached out to me. Super nice guy, great family. He had just moved here and was he bought this house, and he was planning on logging the forest behind his house. And turns out Native American, like, sacred area. As soon as he started logging, he was having wild experiences in his house, like seeing these black figures, these like all kinds of crazy stuff. So you know, I would like to get in touch with somebody who is an expert on the spiritual side of Native Americans, because you know, it's, hey, Foggy Mountains here. It's one of those things that, as a paranormal researcher in East Tennessee, I should know more about. Really. Like, I should be the expert. Because, I mean, I genuinely love the land, the way that Native Americans, you know, kind of cherished the lands as well. So I would like to become more knowledgeable. Oh my God, this hair. I'm sorry. I'm like, as I'm talking, it's tickling my nose. It's making my nose itch. Lost my train of thought. It's the ADHD for you. But anyway, I would like to know more about the spiritual side of the Native American culture here in East Tennessee. Because we have a lot of really unique places, especially like the Bat Creek tablet. Have you all ever read or heard about that? That area is wild, absolutely wild. Like, you go out onto that area, it is like, it's crazy. Brian, can you recommend any good reading material concerning with Native American? So all the Native American stuff that I kind of have is based on like their like where they were located, where they hunted, things like that, like where their villages and stuff were set up. I don't have um, the knowledge that I would like to have on their like historical, spiritual kind of points of view. Going along with like the Thunderbirds, the Sasquatches, like the stuff that we kind of see in a sense, kind of like in pop culture, but we don't really know the true meaning behind it. Sharon, my son has ADHD like you, so I understand. Yeah, it's like a freaking squirrel. Like I can't sit still. I can't concentrate. Well, I mean, I can concentrate for the most part, but I get sidetracked very easily. But y'all, I'm gonna have to wrap this up because I gotta go pick up Amelia from school right quick. I might jump back on later if I decide I'm gonna do another investigation tonight. I'm gonna have to look and see because I've got to go buy some equipment too. I got to get some new batteries and shit. So I've got to hit the old Walmart and buy some stuff. So we'll see. I might not be able to make it out tonight, but maybe tomorrow night I could do it. So yeah. Don't like things that happen on your own property or house. Use Scott Carpenter's idea. Mine came through a portal in my yard. Fuck that. Like, that's scary. Like, I bring him home, I bring him home with me. I haven't had a portal open him up in my yard yet, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. So, anyway, I get around and get Amelia. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for those who donated Cashapp and PayPal. Y'all are awesome. You help this channel keep moving forward. We've got a lot of stuff going on coming up, and I'm really excited about it. So, y'all are the best. Love you. Till next time. Off.